here. So thank you guys for joining us on Diversity Chats, where we bridge the gaps of diversity and destroy ignorance before it destroys another life. Today I have a guest with me. Guest, if you could, please introduce yourself. What's your name? What are you up to in the world?
My name is Andre Wiley. I'm a contractor, home improvement guy.
That's right.
I'm also LaQuisha's brother.
That's right. My one and only biological, and I have a lot of guys I call brothers. This is the one that's actually the first one I've called brother. So I'm glad and honored to have one today. And we're just going to chat. Don't have anything scripted, but that's normal for me. So hopefully you can roll with me. So what's your age, Dre?
I am 35.
All right, that's right. And what ethnic background do you identify as?
African American.
All right, cool. And where are you from? Where are you at right now in the world?
I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and I'm currently living in Columbus, Ohio.
Excellent. DYT. What do we call? What is it called? Something City. Dayton. Gym City? Gym City. All right, I'm pretending like I know. Glad to have you on today, Dre. I call him Dre. So let's see. Let's talk about diversity. Anything specific on your heart right now? Some of the things that are going on in the world that you've seen, happening. Did you have any feedback?
Oh.
He's got his mask hanging off.
Well, I see a lot of different things going on in the world that are less than desirable, but a lot of areas I also see where a lot of good can come out of what we're going through. Mm-hmm. If we'll just shift our perspective to see that.
Mm-hmm. How has some of the racial tension and stuff, how's that affected you?
I don't know that it's affected me directly or specifically in this time. For a long time, I've been in an area where it's diverse enough to where any issues that I would have racially, I would have already had. So I'm kind of it's kind of my environment that allows me to kind of watch some of the drama and things that are going on from the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
And plus I'm getting to an age where I don't want to deal with the foolishness, so I just stay away from it. So I can't say that I've seen a bunch of effects in my personal life, specifically in this time period. It's kind of been like a retrospective, from the outside looking in. It just reminds me of some of the struggles that I deal with every day, not just, in 2020.
Mm-hmm. What are some of those struggles, and how have you dealt with them?
It's just, I don't want to minimize it because it is a big thing that, the fact that I can't, or I have to think twice about reaching for my ID. Mm-hmm. Even just driving here, I take my wallet out of my pocket and put it in the seat. Mm-hmm. Those are things that I've always had to consider. But with the social climate, it's even more important for me to pay attention to certain things that I wouldn't normally.
Mm-hmm. Why do you put your wallet on the seat?
I don't want anybody to assume that I'm reaching for a weapon.
Like if you got pulled over or something?
If I got pulled over, so I just leave my wallet out. I even have a wallet that you can see my ID card without me opening it.
The little window?
The little window, yeah. Little things that I do in my life have done, before a lot of the nonsense that's going on right now started. Mm-hmm. But I have to be extra cautious to keep up with those kind of things now. Mm-hmm. That being just one of the examples of things that I already do, but now I have to be more mindful of.
Mm-hmm. What about like your attire? Like, do you ever think about like what you wear and why? What do you consider when you get dressed?
Um, for me, I'm secure in my own personal style, kind of like you. You know, um, I don't consider what I wear in terms of will it make me look more ethnically this or that. I kind of just go with the style that I already have and kind of go with that. I think that it would be um, kind of absurd for me to change what I'm going to wear in the day based on what somebody else thinks. Mm-hmm. That'd be like me saying I'm not going to wear this Bengal shirt even though they got spanked yesterday.
Like, I was looking at your
fan,
shirt.
You know what I mean? I'm still a fan, regardless if they lost or not, regardless if it's embarrassing or not. Like I'm still rocking with my team.
Yeah,
you know, I can't not rock with my race in the same way. Sure. When I get dressed, there's just kind of that swag, and that I don't see a reason to get away from or shy away from that. That
even your hair,
right?
Yeah.
I don't see a reason to shy away from that. But I also see opportunities to maybe let people interact with me on a face to face level, and see that even though I have dreads and sometimes I sag my pants, like there's intellect there. That we're not all one way because we dress a certain way.
Yeah. My brother's definitely not a gangbanger. I'm sorry, I can't even with a straight face. Right. One of the friendliest people you're gonna meet. Let me see. Well, personally, when I get dressed, I do think about. Yeah. I don't wear a hoodie everywhere. Sometimes if I get concerned, or I pick certain hoodies that look like more feminine instead of just like comfortable because of my complexion and how that. Unfortunately, people misjudge situations. I have cold ears, okay, world, and I like hoodies. I mean, it's warm right now, but once it gets cold, I like putting a hoodie on. Not because I'm about to rob a bank, because that's too much energy, but I'd rather just keep my ears warm. So I was curious if you did anything like that. We were kind of like raised in Columbus, Ohio for a while, and there's a lot of times where, well, personally for me, I was the only black person like in the class or at a workplace or whatever. Have you ever felt like you had to be a spokesperson for black people in those situations? The people, I want to touch your hair because you're like the only, black person they're used to being around, or what is that like for you?
My experience has been mostly, like you say, the hair stuff. I've always had like an afro or something fun to play with, so I've definitely experienced that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, like as a grown man now, I can look at it and not really be offended by it, but I'm able to look at it as I took those opportunities to allow somebody to come closer to something that they're completely ignorant about. And those are the opportunities that we're missing now, I feel like, in society, because we're marginalizing everybody that we meet based on their color or what they're wearing or the area that they're in or whatever. Like, you miss a lot of opportunities to really get to know the genuine person.
Sure. Yeah. I definitely agree. That's one of my, one of the heartbeats behind diversity chats is being able to say, hey, maybe someone looks different. They come from somewhere that I'm not familiar with, but that doesn't mean I can't talk to them. They might be a blessing in disguise, or I might be their blessing in disguise. So, I feel it's a little hard for me. Sometimes I feel the judgment, and I just think, man, I could have been a blessing. Right. You missed it because people are judging and or misjudging. So let's talk about like the biracial element. Like, You definitely dated probably, would you say, more white women than any other? What is that like for you, like navigating the world with that kind of, person on your side?
Um, it hasn't been really hard for me to navigate the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's been difficult at times for me to navigate the individual relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is such a divide in some of the things that, say, you and I were taught about our ethnicity, that people don't understand or not even know where actually happened.
Like what? What's the example?
Okay, like Aunt Betty always sending us those ethnic books. Thank you, Aunt Betty, if you're watching. But a lot of the facts in those books, or Aunt Elizabeth, like there's a lot of facts in there that were not in our history books.
Yeah.
And things like that.
I don't even remember those books. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I believe you.
In terms of dealing with the interracial relationships, it's been difficult for me to know. You can't unknow stuff.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
To know and to still deal with people accordingly. And it's been difficult to explain it because it's a uncomfortable situation for them. There's a sense of shame for them for things that they're not responsible for personally. So that's difficult to navigate through.
Yeah.
Educating them without making them feel like they owe me something, or I hold some kind of grudge about it. But just because I have to be clear that just because I don't make a big deal about things does not mean that they don't exist.
Sure. What are some of the things you're not making a big deal about?
Like, I don't make a big deal about usually having to have my credentials out at all times. Like, I don't make a big deal about that. I don't make a big deal when I walk past somebody and they clutch their purse tight. Like, generally, like, things that when I was younger used to set me off really don't set me off anymore because I understand what it is.
So it's a norm for you.
Right.
Do you feel like it should be a norm? And, like, how do you feel about it not being a norm for other people?
I don't think, well, what are we talking about? Should be
like, putting your credentials out. Like, oh, let me put my wallet out because I'm concerned that if I get pulled over and I reach for my wallet, someone's going to think I have a gun and possibly kill me or shoot me. Do you feel like just because you've been able to navigate that as a norm, or I'm calling it a norm, you didn't use that term, so maybe you have another different word for it, but if you're shaking it off and just navigating the world that way, how do you feel about the fact that other people aren't doing that aren't Black? This is a loaded question.
I don't know. Yeah, it is kind of because I guess I don't feel any type of way about having to. Well, most times I don't feel any type of way about having to not make a big deal about it, even though it is a very big deal. That's just kind of the balance that, unfortunately, we've been conditioned to take in order to survive and sometimes even emulate the privilege that that there is that it's unbalanced right now.
I don't know what you mean by emulate the privilege.
Like, sometimes I have to do things in order to compete at the same level as other people.
Got it.
And that's just part of how I operate. But it's not because it's not out of necessity. Like, it's something that I've learned to do in order to be on a level playing field, or at least try to make the playing field a little bit more level.
What's an example of one of those playing fields?
I mean, just going back to what we were already talking about, like I don't mind taking out my ID and stuff like that and leaving it there. I think that it's unfair that if we're all created equally, that everybody doesn't have to have their credentials out.
Yeah.
So that's just an example of, trying to make something a level playing field. It's obviously not a level playing field. That I'm already prepared for something that people take for granted. That they're going to be able to reach for their wallet and get their credentials if they're asked for it
safely.
Right. So that preparation is what I'm referring to. Like they're just things that I'm conditioned to do now for survival. That a lot of people don't consider or don't have to consider. So.
Well, I think that's great that you shared it because maybe people don't realize that. Right. That people are consciously making certain decisions when they just get in the car. Even personally, I'm like, let me make sure people know this is my car because I still remember a while back. I forget his name. The professor who does the thing on PBS. He was going to his house. He does the genealogy thing, and he went to his house and someone called the cops on him. Because he was I think he was having a hard time, it was late. He couldn't see the key hole or whatever, so someone called the cops. It's like, this is my house. But it's like, if you're brown skin, people might be like, are you sure this is your house? Right. And I recently saw one with the guy in the car. He was in front of his house, and the lady's like, what are you doing? He's like, this is my house. Like, but why are you outside? Well, it's outside my house. But because he's black, and unfortunately, I don't like the term because I know Karens that I love, but the term, she's one of the Karens that they're talking about, a fair-skinned lady who just didn't, couldn't understand that. It's just like, hey, this is my car. It's even very girlified, just so people if she's a girl, that's a girly car, that's probably hers.
Right.
I mean, it's just weird to just navigate the world like that, but,
yeah, it's like that when I drive my Cadillac too. I'm like, in certain areas, I'm like, this might be cause to get pulled over just because, and that's sad that I have to think that way, but sometimes it's like that. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I think what's great, I've always admired that you have the ability to adapt. We're military brats, so we had to adapt to different neighborhoods, different schools. And, my brother is definitely one of the people that, people flock to. And he's always been able to kind of, adjust to different people. So that's really good. You're a good people person. It concerns me that people wouldn't see that about him. They just see his skin color and that he's a man and see him as a threat. So that's one of the reasons I wanted you to join me on here. How is it going to be for you, with raising your, mixed race offspring?
I think that I plan on just teaching him the foundations of being a man, not necessarily a black man or a white man, just a man. Because once you have the foundation to build on, once he starts, creating his own character or whatever, so to speak, it's on a solid foundation. Mom mentioned that to me early on because she saw that I was interested in white women. So, it's been something that I had to consider.
Conscious about it.
Be conscious of, So, I don't think that Alex is 7 now.
This is a very developmental age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right now I'm just trying to let him understand that these things do exist, but I have to do that kind of delicately because his mother thinks differently about how to approach certain situations, that being one of them. So that is now, in hindsight, understanding what mom's questioning or what mom's comment was to me to consider those things because of her background. She can't understand some of the things that or values that I kind of want Alex to So that's just a process that her and I are going to have to work out.
Mm-hmm. I think that's great. You're going to focus on character because that's not a color. They say what skills or something will get you in the door, character will keep you.
Right.
So, that's definitely important to build people up from the inside out. And maybe they won't be so vain to just stop at external elements when they're trying to even navigate the world and say, is this person someone I should talk to or not? Like, well, having good judgment and knowing what good character is, it's easier to say yes or let me test it out and see, but not just be quick to, go buy a book cover. But yeah, so that's cool. Really excited to see what kind of human he turns out to be. He's very, both his parents are sassy and prideful in the sense like they really feeling themselves. So is my nephew. And this is gonna be an interesting person, but he's smart. He's amazing, and I know he'll be good. Because he's got Auntie Lala here to help him stay grounded, and that's me. But anyways, I'm just playing. But I'm gonna finish with my closing, and if you have any closing thoughts. Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in today to Diversity Chats, where we bridge the gaps of diversity and destroy ignorance before it destroys another life. Thank my guest, my brother Andre. And did you have anything to share? Anything closing that maybe we didn't touch on?
Not that I can think of.
All right.
I would encourage everybody to get their knowledge up and, continue to learn and grow. Don't stay stagnant in the things that maybe even you were raised in, because just because it's been around for a while doesn't mean that it's right. Get your own knowledge about the things that affect your life. So I'm glad that you're doing these diversity chats, so that people can get knowledge and using a platform that a lot of our generation's using. I think it's a great idea. So thank you for that, Leash.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely get my diversity foundation from my brother. This fella loves diversity. I don't think he knows it, doesn't use the term maybe, but her mom's in the back yelling something. Oh, that's not the same thing. And so, which I am as well, a debater. Yeah, we're debaters. The thing is, no, because remember you used to listen to rock and stuff, and me, I'm black people don't listen to rock, thinking now I'm younger, and then as I got, kept adjusting in life, I realized every music, and as a Christian, I like anything glorifies God, so any style, I don't care, I like it. So I definitely, would say I'm more sensitive to diversity or embrace different people because I got from my older brother. So you're a part of the reason why I even do it, right? So that's pretty dope. So anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed day. We'll see you on the next episode.